Welcome to Timeform Radio's Bumper Christmas Podcast 2014 with Alan Dudman, Jamie Lynch and special guests.
Well, hello and welcome to this all-new Timeform Radio Christmas Podcast for 2014. Hope you whetted your appetite there with some of those big race wins, and we've got a whole host of goodies coming your way. We've got some special guests lined up on this Christmas podcast, including Barry Orr's Glasses, so looking forward to meeting them. Simon Rowland, Kieran Packman. We have the team from betting.betfair.com. We've got a bake-off. Don't know how that's going to work, but looking forward to it. The awards, I think they're known as the Lynchies again this year. Competition, and a chance to win 14 prizes of Timeform products. We've got a few outtakes and general organised silliness. So that means we've got Jamie Lynch back on board for this year. Now, the Halifax studio is out of bounds, I do believe. So we have the option, the TVG studio in California. I know the south of France is very nice this time of year. Jamie, tell us where you are.
Live and exclusive from rainy Manchester. That's where I am, Al. I've come across the Pennines to Manchester, and let me tell you something. I've been to the Hammersmith studios, and that is nothing compared to the plush surroundings that I am in right now. And let me tell you something else. Who'd have thought, Al? Who'd have thought a year ago when we went down that long and winding road of the first Christmas podcast that we'd be back again, but we're going to be back bigger and better than ever. And I believe this year we've got a special guest.
We have, and also I'm getting to reuse all of my old gags from last year, so I'm quite looking forward to those. So one of our special guests, Hayley Moore, is with us in the studio. Hayley, would you rather be here or in Manchester with Jamie Lynch? And Merry Christmas, by the way.
Merry Christmas to you both. I'm actually going back to the TVG offer of sunny California. Sounded quite nice, so that would be the option I'd take up.
Okay, you're looking forward to this podcast? We're not quite sure what's going to happen. But
slightly nervous. I'm not sure if I'm going to get your jokes. I think that's my most
don't worry, no one
worrying
gets those.
moment.
Although Dave sometimes, as Dave is pressing the magic buttons through the glass. Back again, Mr. Stewart.
Yes, it's hard to believe it has been a whole year since the last extravaganza. I've just about recovered from that one. But this year's podcast is going to be a lot more slimline, efficient, streamline, energy saving, miles per gallon. We're going to try and make it a little bit shorter than last time. Now, let's get one thing straight. This has got nothing to do with listener demand. Listeners wanted more, if anything else. This is purely financial. We're having to pay Jamie Lynch by the minute now. Now he's up in these plush Manchester studios, and of course he's one of the three wise men from Timeform. So I see myself and the podcast, Alan, as a bit of a sort of fourth official, keeping an eye on the clock in football terms. So I'm afraid all my Christmas music that I played last year, I'm afraid has been jettisoned. No one wants to hear my old relics and dubious... Oh dear.
There's one.
There's one supporter. Had so many complaints last year about the music. A lot of it
from me.
Well, a lot of it was postmarked Hartlepool and Halifax, which I thought was a bit suspicious, but that's gone. The music's out. We're getting straight into the action. It's all about the awards. I'm the fourth official. Let's assume I'm at the Hartlepool Blythe Spartans football match in the FA Cup.
That's an early blow.
Can't mention that.
And listen, Al, there are two words that strike fear into my heart and should strike fear into everyone's heart who downloads or listens to this podcast, and that is bake off. Now, last year, the highlight of the show, I think unquestionably, was the Haydock commentary, which we found out when the judge had to step in due to a commentator's... I don't know why, he missed the race. But the commentator stepped in, and we had, of course, the immortal line, Hamdan Al Maktoum sandwich.
And Kawafi.
And Kingscut. But I think that we're centralising all power and focus on these two words, bake-off, because David Cleary and Paul Jacobs, they've had months in the planning to come up with something special, and that is the thing, that's the hook which we're going to entice everyone in on.
And can I just apologise? I was a bit late in coming into the studio. I got this new. I used this new taxi service. They were called Weatherby Cabs, but they dropped me off a mile before the studio, so I was just a bit late in coming into. I told you it wasn't very good. I had to use it. Dave, now on the subject of time, distance, etc. With the distance from last year's podcast, I was planning on doing a competition of my own. What was longer, a Ridley Scott film, a Pink Floyd instrumental, or last year's Christmas podcast?
Well, I can't reveal how long it actually was because it went off the meter, but let's say it's been remeasured in the interim, and we got it down to sensible proportions. But it is going to be quicker this year, we hope. We're already behind schedule.
Get gifts from the three wise men this Christmas. There's comment from Jamie Lynch every Friday morning, Analysis from Simon Rowlands every Friday afternoon, then prediction from David Cleary with the last word from 11:30 on Channel 4 Days. It's essential festive reading at timeform.com.
Now, we've got our usual awards. Last year we had 28 awards. This year we've cut it down to 5. The Trainer of the Year, the Jockey of the Year, I wonder who's going to win that, Memorable Moment, Race of the Year. We've got some kind of Godolphin award as well, and Horse of the Year. So shall we have our first nominations?
Trainer of the Year. And the nominations are Willie Mullins, Eddie Lynham, David O'Meara, or is it David O'Mara? David something anyway, the ginger one. Dermot Weld.
So we will be finding out who will win the first Lynchy of this year. And I must admit, the trophies, they look even bigger and better this time round. I mean, they were enormous. They were like the UEFA Cup last year. So looking forward to that, Jamie. Tell us about each of the 4 contenders.
The first thing is there's 3 Irish trainers here and an English-based trainer who in fact is Irish as well. So this is very much in the tricolour, the green and gold and white of Ireland. Willie Mullins, whatever the secret to training is, Willie Mullins has found it. He's been top of the Timeform trainer rankings virtually throughout 2014. And think back to the Cheltenham Festival of Otua, Forheen, Don Poli, Quevega. He very nearly won the bumper, very nearly won the Arkle and the World Hurdle and the Gold Cup as well. So Willie Mullins earned his place number 1 on the shortlist for Trainer of the Year. And then we go to Eddie Lynham. What about Eddie Lynham? You know the power of love, Huey Lewis? The power of love. We've got the love of the powers here. Slave power and soul power. There are 5 Group 1 sprints in Britain, and between them, slave power and soul power won 4 of them. He also won a juvenile race, a prestigious one, the Mayhill, with Agnes Stewart. So Eddie Lynham, a real breakthrough year for him. Fantastic year. On to David O'Meara. Some say O'Mara, some say the ginger one.
What do you say?
I can't get out the O'Meara habit. Whenever I see it written down, I'm always O'Meara. But we will.
Hayley, are you an O'Meara fan or O'Mara?
I am an O'Meara. That's what I've always said, David O'Meara.
There we go, Jamie. That's settled.
2 Group 1 wins though, G-Force and Move in Time, Haydock Spark, Spring Cup and the Abbey as well, including numerous major handicap wins. And then of course one of the horses of the year, Custom Cut. No, not many trainers can do with a horse like Custom Cut what David O'Mara did. And then finally Dermot Weld. Dermot Weld, again, his sensational season in terms of numbers. The fact he won at both the Cheltenham Festival and the Royal Ascot Festival. The fact he had Pale Mimosa, the fact he had Forgotten Rules and Free Eagle. Dermot Weld has been around for years, but it seemed like he raised his profile even further in 2014. So the shortlist is Willie Mullins, Eddie Lynham, David O'Mara, some say O'Meara, and Dermot Weld.
Hi, this is Dan Barber, Jumps Editor at Timeform, and the winner of Trainer of the Year is Willie Mullins.
And I forgot to say before that, we actually had a betting show for Willie Mullins winning that. It was 1-9 in a field of 28.
Like a normal maiden hairless of Thurles then, is that right?
Yeah, definitely. So, well, he is mopping up everything, Jamie, and we got these prices. I mean, on the Betfair Sportsbook, a Willie Mullins Christmas special to win the Supreme, the Neptune, and the Albert Bartlett, he's 16-1.
Yeah, and, what a sensational trainer. The thing is that, yes, he's got the firepower, yes, he's got the armoury, but to deliver the goods as his horses do with such regularity on the biggest stage of all, Willie Mullins has said whatever the secret to training is, he has found it. And does that sit comfortably with you, the fact that Willie Mullins has won Timeform